All right, this meeting is called to order. In accordance with Article 4, Section 2 of the Jamestown Municipal Code, I hereby call a special meeting of the Board of Mayor and Aldermen, which is today at 5 o'clock on Tuesday, August 29, 2017, at the Jamestown City Hall. The purpose of the meeting is to interview for the police officer position at the police department and to hire for the police officer position. All right, would you call the roll, please?
Lyndon Baines.
Here.
Charles Cooper.
Here.
Becky Duncan.
Here.
Vanessa Matthews.
Here.
Elizabeth Pendergrass.
Here.
All were present.
Okay, and the interviews will be by Police Chief Ken Hancock or the police officer. He will conduct the interviews, please.
Okay, the first applicant will be Steve Taylor. Basically, it's just about 10 questions. The first one is what do you know about the Jamestown Police Department and how it functions and operation?
I know it's a pretty good department. Worked there before. Helped start a lot of programs down there. Get a lot of equipment down there through grants and stuff. So I'm completely familiar with the workings of the police department.
Okay. What do you want a career in law enforcement?
I've done it for 25 years now. I've always wanted to be a police officer, so I want to retire out there someday.
Okay. Have you ever applied for other law enforcement agencies?
Oh, sure. I've worked at different agencies before.
What are your goals?
Get in there and do a good job and treat the people right, dignity and respect, and carry on with my duties.
What qualities do you possess to be a police officer?
25 years experience. I'm certified. I've had all kinds of classes in schools and supervisor schools. So,
Okay. What is your employment history?
I've worked for Jamestown. I've worked for Ferguson County, Morgan County, and Overton County, and TBI at one time in their uniform division.
Have you ever had any types of arrests, citations, or other minor traffic violations?
Had traffic violations when I was young, and never been convicted of any arrests.
Okay. If hired, would you be required to take a physical examination, and a drug screen? Do you have a problem with that?
No, sir.
Okay. And why did you leave your last job?
It was more of a security job at Fairfield Glade. I'm just not a security officer. I've been a police officer too long.
If selected, the city will make an investment in you as an officer. Why should we select you over the other candidates?
I have a lot more experience, and like I said, I started most of the programs down there, like the camera system and the digital radio system, and I created the evidence room, so I'm completely familiar with everything down there. And I feel I'm more qualified, experience-wise, and things down there, working down there.
Okay. Do you have any questions or comments?
No, sir.
That concludes the question.
Thank you.
Who's the next applicant?
Chris Ferguson is the next one, but I set them in 15-minute increments.
So we have to give him that opportunity.
That could be him and coming in. No, it's one of them, but it's not the one. It's the next.
We can recess for a set amount of time. You guys want to just take a break? We can
one of them did just step in. If you don't, I mean, we don't gotta go by what I've got wrote down. It's up to y'all.
It's up to the board, what you want to do. Do you want to go on with the applicant that is here?
Yeah, let's just continue on.
Okay,
I agree.
all right.
Okay, I
And that
think
person is,
Chris Martin. Got about 11 questions for you, it's about like it was before. What do you know about the Jamestown Police Department and how it functions?
Jamestown Police Department, they serve the city of Jamestown. They're here to serve and protect all the citizens and visitors in town.
What do you want a career in law enforcement?
That's something I've been looking forward to for a long time. I'd really like to come to work for the Jamestown City Police Department.
Have you applied to other law enforcement agencies?
I had one or two, but this is my top pick. This is where I want to make my career.
What are your goals?
To be able to stand up and do the things that's right and lead people the direction they need to be led on and get some of the drugs off the streets.
What qualities do you possess to be a police officer? Like you got special training or?
Yeah, I went to Walter State Police Academy October of last year and graduated in December. I dedicated many hours to the Jamestown City Police Department, working with everybody there. It was all volunteer. Maybe I'll be able to step up and get a job.
What is your employment history?
I worked in construction mainly before I got on about 3 years ago with the Kentridge County Sheriff's Office, worked in corrections. Decided I wanted to get a little more in depth and make a career in law enforcement, so I sent myself to the police academy, graduated December the 9th. Been looking for employment in this line of work.
Okay. Have you ever had any types of arrests or citations rather than a minor traffic violation?
Other than a speeding ticket or something here and there.
Okay, if hired, you'll be required to take a physical examination, psychological, drug screen. Do you have a problem with any of these?
No surgery.
Why'd you leave your last job?
I've been away from my family, working, away from home, and I had a newborn at home. And figured it was time for me to come back home and be with my family.
Okay. If selected, the city will make an investment in you as an officer. Why should we select you as a candidate?
I feel like I've got the time in with the city, being able with other people. I've put in countless hours with the city, been involved in multiple arrests. I like everybody there, and I believe they'd like to say the same for me.
Do you have any questions or comments?
No, sir.
That'll do it. Thank you. No, I don't believe
no
either.
one else is here.
Not at this time. What time is it? I'd say,
It's just, 5:15, something like that, 5:15.
I'd say in the next 15 minutes, they should speak, somebody else show up, if y'all want to recess.
Everybody just want to recess at this month?
Yeah.
Okay, we will go to recess.
For how long? specify exactly at a time?
I'm sorry, what?
How long, you can specify just exactly how long?
We'll say they're supposed to be coming in for every 15 minutes, so there should be one coming in the next, let's say 15 minutes. We will recess for 15 minutes. Is that it? Okay. All right. Okay, I'll call this meeting back into session. And turn it over to Police Chief Ken Hancock.
I think Chris Ferguson, if you'll step up here to the mic, please.
And step close to the mic so we can be heard.
We'll only have about 12 questions. It'll be pretty simple. This is, what do you know about the Jamestown Police Department and how they function and operate?
What I do know is I believe they're running on 7 people. It's 8-hour shifts, 40 hours a week. You have set days off. Due to the 8-hour shifts, you have 3 shifts, morning, evenings, and nights. If I'm mistaken, they're probably from 6 to 2, 2 to 8, or 2 to 10, and 10 to 6.
What do you want a career in law enforcement?
Originally, it was a kind of a childhood dream. When I was a child, across the street, when I lived in San Bernardino County, California, there was a canine officer, and that was one thing I always wanted to do. As I got older, I realized that I didn't want the dog hair on me that much, so that kind of displaced that. I went to college. I got out of college, junior college, and I moved out here in 2005. And when I moved out here, I really tried hard to get on to a police department and found it very difficult. When I finally succeeded, it was just a personal goal of mine, just like going back to school to get my bachelor's and to assist the community in building a relationship with each individual as I come in contact with them.
Okay. Have you applied to other law enforcement agencies?
Through time, I have, as in this particular situation, no, I have not.
Okay. What are your goals?
Future goals for me would be to move into administration. Obviously, I'm 33 years old, so that is not a goal of near years. I'm thinking about like around 50, 53 years old. The reason for that, I think any officer that does this for a length of period of time should always push themselves to be that asset, but also to better themselves with the education, whether it be skill levels, going to classes, being an instructor. So my ultimate goal is sooner or later be in some form of administrational role.
Okay. And what qualifies you to be a police officer?
I'm in law enforcement for a little over 11 years. I'm on my 12th year. I worked in 3 different agencies, first Cookeville, then Putnam County, and I work in Allgood. My qualifications range anywhere from an instructor all the way down to just the general certifications. I continue to better myself through education, as well as push forward to other officers, answer questions, be there if I need to, and also lean on them as well.
Okay. What is your employment history?
Employment history, for law enforcement, I worked at Blockbuster until I decided to leave there and pursue law enforcement. In 2006, I got offered from Cookeville and from Knoxville to be a deputy or a recruit. I picked Cookeville because I didn't want to relocate. I went from there to 2012. I left and went through Putnam County. I was hoping to get a road spot, so I worked in the jail for a little over about 2 years. And when it wasn't really working out with the new sheriff, as in the road spot, I was fine, happy, but I'm not a corrections officer. I love being out there in the public, driving around, and Allgood offered me a job and been there ever since.
Okay. Have you ever had any types of arrests or citations rather than a minor traffic violation?
No, sir.
If hired, you will be required to take a physical examination, psychological, and a drug screen. You have a problem with that?
No, sir.
Okay. And why'd you leave your last job?
I'm currently there. I am happy where I'm at. It does take me 55 minutes to get there. That kind of gets old when you get off at 6 p.m. and before you know it, it's like 6:45 before you leave. By the time I get home, it's about 8 o'clock. I don't get that much time with my children, so I'm kind of inquiring just to see if this is a good fit for me, and that way I don't have to drive. Actual workplace and all good. I'm not a disgruntled employee. I'm not unhappy. The only part that stinks for me is the drive back and forth 2 hours a day.
Okay, if selected, the city makes an investment in you as an officer. Why should we select you over the other candidates?
I think each applicant that you look at today, you have to look at them individually, but as an equal. I mean, I'm equal to anybody sitting behind me that's put in. You know, I put my own time in. What I bring to the table is
a lot of education. I have a bachelor's. I'm certified in different things as well as they may be. But realistically, I'm a very big people person. I like to get out and talk. Parents always told me I could talk to a brick wall. It's probably true. Me personally, I'm a people person. That's why I choose this job. And am I better than them physically? I don't know. I don't know any of them. I bring to the table professionalism is what I bring, and honesty.
Okay. Do you have any questions or comments?
No, sir, just for everybody. I don't know anybody here. I actually just moved here about 4 months ago. My wife lived her whole life. We live down the road. If y'all need anything, honestly, let me know. Other than that, nice to meet each and every one of you, because I really don't know anybody. So I go to Walmart and people say hi to me, so I'm not being rude, I just don't know you. So other than that, that's all I have to say, sir.
All right. That should conclude it then.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Who's our next person?
Stephanie, I think she's outside.
Someone asked Stephanie to come in.
Yeah, I think they're asking.
Come on up.
Hello, you might have to step a little closer.
To the mic so they can hear you.
Sounds like I'm right on top of it, but just have a series of questions about like it was before. What do you know about Jamestown Police Department and how it functions and operates?
Well, I was born here, 1989. I know most of the officers that you see standing in the back of the room. Ken and I have had several conversations about how the policing works here. I know it's roughly 4 square miles, services about 1,000 people. Very low-key, but if we have major crime, we can answer in certain circumstances. I know that you guys have been shorthanded as of late. As far as how the policing works, it's pretty well the same anywhere across the board. A little bit different paperwork, but the standards are still the same.
Why do you want a career in law enforcement?
I chose a career in law enforcement almost 6 years ago. It is one I think that I'm dutifully suited for. It takes a certain individual to run towards crime versus run away from it, and I have the personality suited for it. That's why I chose, and to service the people.
Okay. Have you applied to other law enforcement agencies?
Yes, I have. I'm currently working at the Ferguson County Sheriff's Department, and I have applied in Cumberland County as well, and here.
What are your goals?
To be a patrolman. I started out in corrections almost 5 years ago. Went to the police academy last year and made it on the road, and then I moved home. And my goal is to service Ventures County as a patrolman.
Okay. And what qualifies you to be a police officer?
Well, besides the obvious, the post-commission standards that I received last year, I have been a deputy on the road for the better part of a year.
Okay.
Not only that, but I majored in criminal justice at Tennessee Tech, and I minored in business management and accounting.
Okay. What is your employment history?
My employment history, I started out in Putnam County in 2012, moved to White County in 2015, and left White County, and now I'm here at Ferguson County.
Have you had any types of arrests or citations rather than a minor traffic violation?
Absolutely not. I wouldn't be servicing law enforcement if I had.
If hired, you would be required to take a psychological and a physical and a drug screen. You have a problem with that?
No, sir, I do not.
Okay. And why did you leave your last job?
I left my last job because I was moving home. My grandparents, Ralph and Mary Taylor, had passed away, and it had been my dream to head home for many years. I had been gone for the better part of 10 years, and I left my job due to that.
Okay. If selected, the city will make an investment in you as an officer? Why should we select you over any of the other candidates?
I think the level of professionalism that I do bring to the table. I am college educated. I have worked on the road. I do have real life experience. It is my understanding that it is different in a patrol car by yourself, making your own decisions. Officer discretion, you have to have a level head. That would be why.
Okay. You have any questions or comments?
I have none.
Okay. Thank you. That concludes. Yeah, that's all.
Okay, so that concludes the interviews. Okay.
This is what we're gonna ask for.
The floor is open for any comments, grievances. Has anyone got any grievances tonight? Okay, so there are no comments or grievances. And we adjourn for this meeting.
He can make his recommendation.
Okay, it's your rec.
Hmm.
It's you.
Okay. As before, I recommend we hire Chris Martin.
Make a motion to hire Chris Martin.
Okay, he's made the recommendation. Motion has been made by Alderwoman Pendergrass to hire Chris Martin. Is there a second to that motion?
I'll second it.
Seconded by Alderwoman Becky Duncan to hire Chris Martin. Roll call vote, please.
Lyndon Baines,
Four.
Charles Cooper,
Or
Becky Duncan. 4. Vanessa Matthews. 4. Elizabeth Pendergrass.
4.
All 4, none against.
Okay, so motion passes, so Chris Martin is our next police officer. Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion.
Motion made by Alderman
I second it.
Baines and seconded by Alderwoman Pendergrass to adjourn.